Welcome to today's collective reading. This is Trinity Gaia Oracle. This reading is going to be for those in the collective that identify predominantly with being the more assertive, masculine archetype of a dynamic. So what is coming through very clearly is that your higher self, your future self, is working with you. It's like if you time traveled, you did the Back to the Future, and future you's like, okay, don't do this, don't do this. Well, why? Because this, and this happened. It's like the cheat codes to avoid all the pitfalls of the game, or like telling you where all the potholes are on the road before you, or I'm getting like Groundhog's Day thing, like where you just already know that because of this future version of you come back, that someone will step in that really deep puddle in like 3, 2, 1. Like the way is already prepared. Knowing that allows you to kind of move into the sense of, all right, well, what is my new home? What have I learned? What have I decided to allow myself to fully like grieve, let go of, so that it could be the medicine for that, so I can create space for what's coming. Because you have spent quite a bit of time alone in this process, looking at the bigger picture, learning from what hurt and how you would want things to be different, the learning from the perceived failures, knowing that they were teachers, so that you could create that wouldn't be a failure. You learned every time something didn't work, what did not work for you. So you could try something that maybe would, and you refined it from there. As a result of that, you had to take things layer by layer by layer, interaction by interaction, lesson by lesson. And you cultivated that inner receptive aspect, that inner feminine. We have the high priestess in the upright here. You have moved yourself into a state of being able to be the feminine aspect of the magician. And you have brought in all the happiness that you could desire with the sun in the upright. Yes, there was some overcoming of obstacles. You have that corruption that came out in the last collective reading that you were able to triumph and overcome, and you were able to make this Seven of Swords energy actually end up working for you. You learned about the patterns of it, its way of thinking, its way of moving, its logic. And because of that, you were able to see the pieces within every deception and lie that were actually true. Any good liar uses some truth. Well, you've been able to find that truth. And the truth, what I'm very clearly hearing is it cuts deeper than a lie. It cuts deeper than a lie. And you're able to find that truth and set yourself free to destroy this illusion. We actually have the Queen of Wands here next, like, to have that feminine receptive energy that is incredibly attracting and desirable to you. There's a sense where there is space within this to be surprised. You haven't made it so every detail has been plotted out. You've allowed the divine to surprise you. You've allowed this feminine receptive energy to present itself in a way that allows you to be fully present in the moment, because you don't know what this receptive feminine energy is going to say or do. You've allowed yourself the gift of being surprised by the magic of living in the now with a feminine receptive energy that is capable of manifesting and creating alongside you, as well as knowing that aspect lives within you as well. This is allowing you to feel like, wow, like, look at what I've done. Like, I have like the Arnold Schwarzenegger pose, with like the back and like displaying the muscles and, like, I'm so strong. but it's something that maybe at one point in your life you thought would never happen, that you would never open your heart to something again. But here you are. You were strong enough to do that healing, to reach for being receptive. And there are many different new beginnings coming before you. And this has led to what would have been a broken heart no longer being a broken heart. Your life is not done. It's not over. Love is still possible for you because you've chosen it to be. And you do, as a result of that choice, you have an energy that's working with you, that's attracting you just as much as you're attracting them. The manifestation, it's unfolding. Now you get to be in that moment, not passing judgment rashly, being very guarded against that, about yourself. Trust them to have their side of the highway. Allow them to manage that side. You're guarding yourself against rash judgments of yourself in this scenario, because if you're manifesting each other, this energy is already going to see the best in you just as you want to see the best in them, if you choose that. And if you choose that, because you can consciously do so, to appreciate the good in one another, by appreciating the good in within yourself, to taking that time to be a comfort to yourself. That's where the guarding comes in. It's comforting yourself by not judging yourself and being willing to be at play with what unfolds. You'll probably find yourself very surprised how much you may end up feeling like the sun, being that inner child, bringing you back no matter how old you are in this moment or how old you feel you are in this moment. Because sometimes we feel like we're older than we are. It brings you back to being that inner child where you lose track of time. You're just enjoying one another. You are literally playing with one another, just like you would if you were on the playground and you were 5, 6, 7, 12, however old you identify with that inner child at the time. It's interesting that there's like a different layering to the ages there. That may be, and especially those numbers, may be a synchronicity for some. Either way, this is about to reground yourself in comforting yourself by not judging yourself, managing that side of the road, and enjoying the unfolding of this. Trust your intuition. Yes, logic is incredibly important. Do not get me wrong. Seeing the logic in something, it's like science. It's the scientific process. Being able to repeat an experiment leads it to being somewhat of it's a truth. You can start to expect it. However, with intuition, there's a bit more of emotion to it, and you have turned that light on within you. If it feels wrong, there's a reason. So don't pass judgment on it yet as this is bad or this is good. Why? What is behind that feeling? That's where you are really defending yourself. You're defending you, you're protecting you, you're comforting yourself. And I will say that in this process, you're going to be surprised by each other, which means at times you may not see eye to eye on a few things. That's a good thing. It means you challenge one another. However, if it's a challenge that crosses and violates boundaries, that's not healthy. This is not the person that we're doing a reading for. This is a reading where you encounter someone who you're actually manifesting, that is balanced, that is healthy, that is also manifesting this very same experience with you. So if you find that you've encountered someone who's not moving in this way, they're not actually this energy yet. They may be there to help you have an even more honed discernment, to be able to go, this is the person that is manifesting me, and I'm manifesting them. Thus, it's always being guarded against that judgment. There's a lot to learn through observation, and now that you have that light on within you, that emotion to give you that little extra intuitive insight into the logical process, the heart and the mind working together, it'll be very hard to fool you because of that. especially if you're approaching what comes through from a non-judgmental space of yourself. You got this. You got this. I'm so excited for you guys. All right. So please do like, share, subscribe. Check out my Insight Timer profile, teacher profile above. I have some free meditations as well as the subconscious coursework. A lot of what it's based around is the elements. You can always be somewhere in your day connected to air. You can have water within reach. You can stomp your feet a few times and feel connected to the earth. And fire, well, your body's warm. The space you're in is heated. Electricity. If you have access to actual fire, if you have a lighter, these are ways of grounding yourself no matter where you are. I definitely invite you to do that if that helps you to stay guarded and grounded and aware of not moving into a judgmental space. To kind of get some distance from it if the emotions feel a little too much, but you don't want to turn them off either. You want to keep connected to that intuition. Highly recommend that, as those meditations are free. Thank you very much for tuning into today's reading. The divine within me honors the divine within you. Namaste.